Update. Am I the a-hole for no longer doing husbandly duties after my girlfriend complains about having to do wifely duties and we aren't married? Original post. I, male 25, has a girlfriend who's 23 and we've been together for about 3 years. She has been living in my apartment with me since our 3-month mark because things at her home were very bad. And we felt this was a better choice due to me also living fairly close to her university. I pay for everything, whether it's something that benefits the both of us or something that just benefits her. I also have been paying for her university because I make a comfortable amount of money, even though I've only been in my career for about 2 years. Anyways, recently for the past few months, my girlfriend has been under the impression that she shouldn't do anything around the house because that's wifey duties. I asked if she could tidy up around the house since she's free 24/7 because she's on summer break aside for her part-time that she only works weekends. And she gets upset and says those are wife duties and that she wasn't going to give me the whole package without a ring. I asked her if she could make me a quick lunch if I'm running late to work or at least put some ingredients in a grocery bag so I can make it at work. And she gives me the same BS about how that's wife duties. It's even gotten to the point that whenever I ask about trying new things when it comes to the bedroom, she says the same things. It just keeps getting annoying. So finally yesterday, when I asked if she could pick up my dry cleaning today because I would be working late, and once again she replied with doing favors like that are for married couples, I lost it. I told her since doing simple tasks were for married couples, then I wouldn't be paying for her next year of university. I wouldn't be funding her activities, letting her use my other card like it's hers, and she would need to start contributing to the house in terms of bills. Or she can leave, because of course those were things that only husbands did, and I was in fact not her husband. This resulted in her getting upset and claimed that I was manipulative and that I shouldn't hold things that I do for her over her head. I didn't care what she had to say and told her that if she wasn't gonna fix her view on helping her partner out with simple tasks, then I wouldn't help her as well. I then told her that I expected contributions for the bills until then, or I would kick her out. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Why should she be a wife if she sucks as a girlfriend? She isn't being a partner, she is being a leech. This was her opportunity to show you how much she appreciated what you do by doing what she could to help you in other ways. She failed. Go find a partner, someone who can contribute to your life, not just take from it. People out here forgetting that dating is a trial for marriage for most people. Exactly. Only a fool would marry a mediocre partner in the hope that it would magically transform them into a great partner. He's paying for her university. She can't even make him a quick meal? If he stays with her, he's a dunderhead. Not the a-hole. Spoiler alert, if she isn't going to contribute to the household now, she won't start if y'all get married. If she can't do simple things, this goes past a lack of appreciation. If she wants to live with you and get wifed up, she needs to act like it, because it sounds like you are already doing your part. Tell her if that's what she wants, she should act like it. But honestly, I don't think that a ring would change the way she treats you in my opinion. No, the ring would make someone like this worse. She wouldn't do anything LOL. This comes down to basic manners. You know how if you're a guest, you're supposed to buy a dinner, offer to help tidy up because you saved on a hotel room? This is the same principle times 10. This chick is getting everything for free and doesn't even show any appreciation. If someone was giving me a free ride, I'd be happy to do domestic chores in return and make dinner and pack his lunch. She has an entitled attitude. Everything is free, and she wants a ring too. Dump her lazy bum and find someone who appreciates a good partner. She sucks. Not the a-hole. She said you are manipulating her. While that is exactly what she has been trying to do to you with, I'll only do it if I get a ring. You need to ask yourself, if your relationship is starting out this way, what would she be like if you actually did put a ring on it and she's more secure in your relationship? Is this what you want the rest of your life to be? Edit/update. Thank you for all the advice, even the ones calling me stupid, which really opened my eyes, and I really appreciate it. I'm just making this edit because it baffles me how some of you guys are assuming I'm using her for bedroom fun. I added how the wifey duties thing started affecting our intimate life whenever asked to try new things. I don't hold it over her head, I just move on and handle my business. When we had our argument, I didn't once bring up our intimate life, but told her she needed to start doing more around the house and stop being, in my eyes, lazy. Also, to be using her for fun, I would have to actually have it with her all the time. The rare times we do nowadays are on her schedule, and we just do basic things and then go on with our day. Last edit before I plan to have a talk with my girlfriend because she's due to be home from her part-time. I've never wasted her time about marriage. From the beginning of our relationship, I was really transparent on how I wasn't looking to get married until my late 20s or early 30s. From the jump, I've told her if she didn't like that arrangement, then our relationship wouldn't work out, but she was adamant that she was fine with that as well. Yes, I suspect that she's acting this way because she wants me to propose that I'm very adamant with not wanting to be married so young. I've reminded her several times throughout the years that if she does not like the arrangement and wants to get married, then she can leave and I wouldn't be hurt. Now for the update. So, I have a little update about a situation that I posted on Friday. So on Saturday around 6 p.m., I decided to have a conversation with my ex-girlfriend. At first, I wanted to wait until today, but I felt like I just needed to get it done. The intention of this talk was to let her go, because I wasn't interested in trying to work things out anymore when it was clear she didn't love or respect me. I also took some advice to record our talk. So when my ex got back from work, I decided to sit her down, and I was upfront with her saying I was unhappy in our current situation. I brought up how I felt used, and I was expected to do all these different things for her while I didn't get anything in return. I brought up how I've tried to explain how I felt so many times, and at which time she ignored it because she felt like she was always right. I then asked her what made her attitude change, and a lot of you guys were correct. She wanted to get married to me, but I wasn't getting the hint, so she decided if she stopped doing things for me, then I would realize how much I needed her. I brought up the fact how I told her from the beginning I wasn't interested in getting married so young, and I also told her that if she was, then our relationship wouldn't work, because we were expecting different things. I told her that it would be best if we ended our relationship because this obviously wasn't working for us and I wasn't interested in continuing it. She tried to say that she would change, how she loved me, and how she was being stupid. But I was firm and told her that I'm glad she realized how her actions were stupid and maybe she learned her lesson for her next relationship. After I confirmed that I wasn't changing my mind, she literally went crazy. Mind you, I'm still secretly recording. She started screaming how I was a useless piece of trash, how she never loved me, etc. It honestly scared me how she went from calm to a scary lady in a matter of seconds. At this point, she started throwing my stuff at me and even went as far to throw my game station at me, which resulted in it getting smashed when it hit the floor. Like that wasn't enough, she went into the kitchen and started throwing glass plates at me while calling me useless. At this point, I was mad and I went into our room and started throwing her things into a trash bag and threatened to call the police. I didn't even get time to call the police because I guess my neighbors heard all the commotion and called them for me. The police ended up coming to my door and asking about the noise, in which I told them the whole situation and how my ex was being really violent towards me. She tried to play it like I was the one who was in the wrong, and maybe he would have believed her if I didn't have the video on my phone. He ended up trying to escort her away from my apartment, but she refused to leave without her stuff, so I had to quickly throw all her things into trash bags while she waited outside. The cop was kind enough to help because I honestly wanted her away from my home as soon as possible. After all her stuff was collected, she ended up leaving with the cop, and that was about 30 minutes ago. Now I'm staying up really late tonight because she still has the key to the apartment and I'm waiting for the 24-hour locksmith to arrive. Though I was too stressed about remembering the key to my home, she did forget to take the keys to my other car with her, so I happily have those. You dodged that bullet like you were in the freaking Matrix, dude. Nice work, man. Press charges for destruction of property. You should 1000% take her to small claims court/press charges. She is 100% liable, and she has the means to not only compensate you for destroying your property, she can also pay for her own rent on her current salary. Good lord, that seriously escalated. Good on you for filming. I've seen it a few times. Always record or have a trusted friend, at least one woman, in the next room just in case. Know a guy whose ex wrecked his home when they broke up because she was cheating. Moved in with a fair partner, and then went back to his house a few weeks ago and wrecked it again. OP is smart changing them locks ASAP. I was with my wife for 15 years. She filed for divorce and wanted full custody. We probably raised our voice to each other about 10 times in our entire marriage. When I sat down with her for a conversation of, can we just go to mediation and get this over with as easy as possible, she absolutely flipped her lid. After telling her if she pursued it the way she wanted to, I was going to have her drug tested by the courts for custody reasons. She's in the medical field, so weed and non-prescribed painkillers would probably look pretty bad. She started screaming how she would come for me, that she wished I died in my recent car accident. She threw the dog off of the bed, then kicked the heck out of him. Then she slammed doors and woke up our child. I had it all recorded, and that really didn't look good in front of a judge when she was seeking full custody. Always record these types of interactions. I've known this woman for 20 years, and this wasn't the only confrontation I wish I recorded, but it was by far the worst. Good for you. And why didn't you press charges? Are you going to sue? She ruined expensive stuffs. Cost of the stuff is probably worth it to never see her again. I wouldn't want to extend my contact with this woman. Exactly my thought. I assume she either destroyed a gaming PC or like a PS5/Xbox because he just said game station. Either way, any of those are $500 minimum. Suing would arguably cost way more in the long run, and he wants this chick gone ASAP. Am I the a-hole for showing everybody what my ex wrote on his final check to me? I, 51 female, divorced my ex-husband 53 male 7 years ago. We were married for 14 years and had 3 kids together, 24 male, 22 female, and 18 female. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I suffered from constipation that, while doctors say isn't definitely IBS, has made me suffer from joint and back pain when I eat things like dairy or any of my other food sensitivities. We live in New Jersey, and the judge made it so that child support and alimony would both end at the same time. I had a lot of issues in my marriage, but at the very least, I have 3 great kids that I love and who love me. My ex has been very bitter, saying I should have wanted counseling, even though I was completely neurotypical and it was him suffering from depression. He also discredited my want to divorce by saying I was acting out of emotion and asked me to take a step back and think, as if I haven't been thinking before. He was always working 12-hour days and overtime, and I was the one taking care of and giving the kids what they needed. My son now has graduated college and is a genius. He has his own app development company and makes more than my ex and I could ever dream of making in a year. My 22-year-old daughter has a degree in nursing and is marrying, and her fiancé comes from money, so she's set as well. However, as for me, I've been suffering from menopause and backaches, and a lot of the entry-level jobs that would hire me would leave me in pain and exhausted. That hasn't stopped my ex from griping and dismissing my real pains though. Long story short, he sent me my last child support and alimony check. In the memo of the alimony check, he wrote, "Freedom, good luck then." It was such a mockery to the health issues I've suffered and all I've put into the family. So I showed my friends and they agreed he's still a blunt, daft individual. My 18-year-old was there, and she said she couldn't believe he thought that way of her. Then my older kids found out through screenshots, and because of my health issues, my son has been sending me $3,000 a month, while my ex sends me $2,500 plus what's needed for our youngest daughter. He spent a lot of his childhood with unmarried parents and resents the fact my ex proposed to his girlfriend, 48 female, after only 2 years. He called his dad a bastard and said he and my 22-year-old would always help me out. He had been saying he would just make up what I'd lose from my ex because he could afford $5,500, but he told me my ex had been telling him to save his money and only send me under $2,000. My ex is now backtracking and saying he only wrote it on my check, but the kids are not amused. He invited them to his wedding, but my 22-year-old said she might be better off just focusing on her own wedding and that she'd help me out too if I needed it. Am I the a-hole for blasting him when he clearly wrote it to be seen? He's always painted me as the greedy ex, it seems. You're the a-hole. Your whole vibe is just off. Sure, you have IBS or constipation, and I hope you're avoiding trigger foods. But why are you showing your kids what your ex put on the check? Why are you taking so much from them? You need that much to live? Why is it so important that your daughter is marrying into money? Why is your focus on money like this? He was working 12-hour days to provide for his family. Do you know how hard that is on a person? Mentally and physically, it's very draining. I'm not one to crap on stay-at-home moms. My mother was a stay-at-home mom and worked hard with us kids. But do not diminish your ex's efforts and contributions to the family. Don't try and cause rifts between him and his kids. Also, I really hate to be this type of person, but I find it hard to believe you can't find a job and work a little. I work with people who have had knee replacements and still can barely walk. People who have had tumors removed from their brain. A girl who has some chronic digestive disorder and she's constantly in the bathroom. But she works. So many people work that really have a hard time doing so, but they have to survive. You have joint pain and IBS, and I'm not saying it doesn't affect you, but come on, you can't get an entry-level job? Call center? Nothing? Just take your kids' money? She doesn't even have IBS, that was ruled out. She's going through menopause, is lactose intolerant, and has backaches and constipation. These can all be unpleasant, but they're not disabilities. They are things which are usually pretty manageable. They don't preclude having a job. Plus, she's demanding concierge doctors. Now she's not getting enough money from her ex, and she's guilted her children into supporting her. Opie needs to stop complaining about her ex and find something real to do with her time. Even if her children really do want to support her, she needs to get out of the house and find something better to do with her time than complaining about her ex and trying to turn their children against him. Yeah, he was snarky, but Opie, you're the a-hole. But notice how she dismisses his depression. I'd be depressed too if I was working 12-hour days to support my family and my wife complained about not being able to do anything because her tummy hurt. I work 12-hour shifts at a warehouse. I work hard every day, plus we do mandatory overtime as well. My wife and kids treat me so well. I don't ask for it, nor do I expect it. But if my wife treated me like that, I sure as heck wouldn't have wanted to be there. I would have worked even more than I do. This woman makes me appreciate my family that much more.